Hey guys, welcome to topic number 2 of the Whiteboard speed series. Last topic we spoke about stride length and stride frequency being the things that we want to consider and the things that determine speed before we actually start thinking about your start and your acceleration and your maximum velocity. So today is going to be a deeper dive into stride length and stride frequency. What impacts it? What impacts both of those qualities? The drills that we can do to try and develop each of these qualities, what it looks like, a brief look at what it looks like in start and acceleration, and a brief look at what it looks like in max velocity and speed endurance, and then I'll wrap it up for you in what it all means. So, first up, stride length. Stride length comes down to our ground reaction force. So how hard we hit the ground. What also impacts it is the wind. We could have a tailwind or we could have a headwind, and believe it or not, that can actually have an impact on how long we can actually stride. Gravity, that's a big one. And then the direction of our force, so whether we are impulsing the ground straight down when we're up tall, or whether when we're accelerating and pushing down and back. So ultimately, those 4 things is what impacts your stride length. And then we come over here, and what impacts our frequency is the speed with which our limbs can move, and this comes down to 2 different things. The execution of our technique, so whether you are making sure that you pull your heels up fast enough and then bringing them through, how quickly you're hitting the ground, where you're striking the ground, and the second one is actually our genetics. Some people have really long tibias, and if they've got to move that tibia from behind them back in front with a long femur, well, they're going to struggle a lot more than someone who has a short tibia and can tick over really quickly. Most athletes most of you might not know them, but think of Trey Williams and Usain Bolt. Trey Williams is pretty short, he's got some short tibias, he can record a really fast frequency, but he wouldn't have the same force or stride length that Usain Bolt has. And also with our genetics is literally our muscle fiber type. Some people have more fast twitch fibers than slow twitch fibers. And some people have more slow twitch fibers than fast twitch fibers. So that too can also impact your frequency. Let's go into drills now. So drills that help develop your stride length are front side drills, like your A-skip, working on lifting your knee up to get to the optimal position. Nice displacement between the ground and your foot to then strike down. Our ground strike drills, jumping, and wickets. Wickets are really important because we can use them for both depending on the focus, okay? So when we get into your stride length, what it looks like in max velocity, wickets can be then lengthened out a little bit further than an athlete's normal stride length to help them encourage them to hit the ground a bit harder to propel themselves further forward, okay? And then in terms of what we can do in the gym, jumping and absolute strength. The stronger you are, the harder you can hit the ground. It's pretty simple. It's simple basic maths. If you can squat 200 kilos, well, I'm pretty sure you could hit the ground a bit harder than someone who could squat 100 kilos. Obviously, relative strength and power comes into that, but the further absolute strength goes up, the stronger we can be, the harder we can hit the ground, the longer our stride length can be, okay? Now, drills that help our frequency are drills that include our heel recovery, so like a cycling butt kick and how we'd execute that. Fast leg drills, which are pretty unique and are used for athletes at more of an elite level to really encourage a fast action, but can be done. And plyometrics, because they need a quick contact as opposed to jumping where we're looking for stride length or absolute power. Plyometrics encourage that quick contact and encourage the tendon and muscles to shorten, load and unload really quickly, okay? And then again, wickets, as I said, can be used for stride length. They can also be used for frequency, all right? And what we do that with is, once we know an athlete's normal stride length, we can make them a little bit shorter, have them run at max velocity, and have them encourage and make them turn over quicker than what they normally would, while still trying to run the same time over, say, 30 meters. And when we're working on absolute strength for stride length, for frequency, there's 2 things we can do. We can work on speed in the gym, so things like hamstring tantrums on the band or something like that, and even flexion strength. That is really important. So distal hamstring strength to help that knee flex really fast, and hip flexor strength to bring that knee up faster is going to be really important, okay? All right, so now we're going to our start and acceleration and max velocity and speed endurance. I'm going to gloss over this just so you have a quick understanding, and then we're going to look into this into further series. But essentially, during the start and acceleration, your first step is around 60 centimeters. This is for someone for 100 meters is going to run like 12 to about 10 seconds. And as we approach maximum velocity, that stride length increases gradually up to about 1.8 meters for someone who's running 12 seconds to 2.4 meters for someone who's running around 9 seconds, okay? That's also dependent on your speed that you're running, which as I just said, and your height. Like I said, someone with short tibias and short femurs versus someone with long femurs and long tibias, okay? And then as we move into speed endurance, getting up over 100 meters, that stride length decreases gradually, okay? Now, for our frequency, use your imagination for a second. When you're on a push bike and you want to take off really fast, do you spin the pedals fast straight away? Or do you do like a couple big pushes down, and then as you get to top speed, you start turning over faster because you built that momentum? Well, that's exactly the same for running. What we need to do is that when we take off, your stride frequency needs to be just quick enough to allow your leg to reposition, to strike the ground again really hard. And then as we get to max velocity, you achieve maximum frequency as well, okay? Now there's a bit of a caveat tidbit here. When we get to max velocity and speed endurance, we're looking for a 1-to-1 ground to air contact ratio. So you're spending as much time on the ground as you are in the air. But when you start fatiguing and slowing down, if an athlete can't achieve a high step rate or maintain that high frequency rate, well, you've got to use your imagination here. Well, no, sorry, you've got to think about it here. One of two things can happen. You need to keep that velocity as fast as you can, or your vertical impulse needs to increase so that your stride length can maintain. So there's one of two things to make sure your speed endurance is good. You keep your velocity fast, so you keep topping it up and keep your ground contact time 1-to-1, or you increase how hard you hit the ground to then maintain your velocity and keep your ground contact time 1-to-1, ground to air 1-to-1, okay? Now there's a lot there. What does this all mean? Well, to me, stride length is easier, quote unquote, easier to develop because we have more scope for development. Your ground reaction force, the way that you produce force horizontally, vertically, or up and down, I should say, you've got more drills and more jumps that you can work on. Absolute strength is easier to develop. And we can also, like I said, if we start fatiguing, we can increase our vertical impulse to then maintain our speed a bit better with stride length, okay? Therefore, coming over here, frequency is more genetic dependent, like I spoke about. Execution of technique, your muscle fiber type, and even your limb lengths can have a big impact on how well you can actually keep your frequency. And as soon as you start fatiguing, if you can't maintain that step rate, or firstly, if you can't even get there, your stride length has to make up for it. So, length gets you down the track, but frequency keeps you in the right position. And what we need to really think about and what we need to do is make sure that your stride length comes first and is trained properly, and then our frequency supports the stride length that you're trying to build, okay? Thanks guys, that's topic number 2. There's a lot more things to go into, but I hope you understand a little bit more how stride length and stride frequency can work together, what impacts them, and the drills that we can do to help them.